Today's episode of the Influencer Empires podcast is brought to you by the Empire Program with White Label Suite, powering our influencers and building their empires. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today we have a genuine influencer superstar with us on the show. This man has forged the path that others are following. I'm just going to read you off a couple of crazy numbers. 3.6 million followers on TikTok alone, 1.8 million following on Facebook, over 840,000 followers on Instagram, and over 800 million views on YouTube. It gives me incredible pleasure to invite the man behind those numbers, the CEO of Syllabi.ai, to the show, Mr. Austin Armstrong. Austin, man, thank you so much for joining me. How does hearing those numbers roll back to you? How does that make you feel?
Pretty insane to think about. It's just one video at a time, one post at a time, 20 years straight of consistency. It's been a pretty mind-blowing journey, man. But I love what I do, and I'm excited to nerd out about this and hopefully share some wisdom that inspires some up-and-coming new creators.
Let's go. I'm excited for that too. So, dude, like, you have been a lifelong marketer online. I mean, I've known your name for years, decades, it seems. How did you get started in the whole online space?
Yeah, so let's go back all the way back to 2004, the days of Myspace, super early in social media. I was 14 years old. I stumbled on this platform that was the newest, hottest thing. I instantly got addicted to growing a following on Myspace, and I figured out how to monetize that in a lot of different ways. I had several profiles with hundreds of thousands of followers on Myspace as a 14, 15, 16-year-old, making way more money than I should have. My parents thinking that I was doing something illegal at the time, and borderline maybe some things were a little sketchy at the time. If I'm, but when you're so young, you know, those are impactful days. The prefrontal cortex is not done, finished developing, and you're really impacted by your experiences in life. And I just loved that entire process of grinding and finding communities of people that were like me that also were fascinated by growing on social media and what that meant in terms of multiple streams of income. And I more or less have done it ever since. Now, there was a little bit of a down period where it wasn't a full focus in my career, because if I'm being honest, nobody told me that this was a career path. It worked for a while, and then I stumbled back into it about 11, almost 12 years ago when I moved out to California, started an internship at a video marketing agency. And now I've been very, very consistent with video and social media for 11, 12 years since. But yeah, there was probably a 3-year gap in between where I was still active on social, but I wasn't growing it, so to speak. But yeah, those were the early days. I big friend of Tom, and I just I love those days.
Wow, amazing. So you're talking about, being 14 years old and getting this incredible traction online. You got 200,000 people following you all the way back in the MySpace days, which for those who are just tuning in the influencer space getting started today, this was the precursor to Facebook. So, dude, how did that affect your daily life? Were you suddenly the guy and everybody was coming to you even way back then?
I lost a lot of friends that way.
Real? Okay, tell me about that. Well, like, why? What happened?
Yeah, so if you remember how Facebook or how MySpace worked, is you posted to this message board area, and that was kind of your feed, if you will. The For You area was a separate message board area, and so like all of my friends and whatnot were connected on MySpace at the time, and some friends and family members were. And once I started to growing, you basically just spam post to help each other grow. So we would be in these AIM community. I'm really aging myself here if there's any new content. But we jumped into AOL Instant Messenger AIM group chats every day, and we'd go down the list of, here's my HTML code that has a follow Austin, and some graphics and stuff on it. And everybody in the AIM group chat would share my profile with some information, and then it would be their turn. And we'd go down this list and we'd share a bunch of posts. And so in a row, like on any given day, I would be sharing 20, 30 posts. And that's just to help each other grow. Never mind, we did this multiple times. And then I was promoting local bands and t-shirt companies and doing email lead gen. I even had an early software company that helped other people grow on MySpace back in the day. And so at school, like nobody knew what was going on. So I got made fun of. I got teased. People hated it, and they're like, shut up. I hate this. So like you're spamming my message board feed. All I see is you. Nobody understood. But I didn't really care.
Right, because the bank was rolling.
Because I'm like, I'm sitting there. I'm like, I just made $250 today as a 15-year-old from posting on MySpace. Like, what have you done?
Right. Damn, I love it. That's amazing. So, obviously, when MySpace, got taken over by the other platforms, so you had that break, but did you have some sort of structure that you went into the other platforms with that allowed you to do the same thing again and again?
Not really, to be honest. So this was pre-video, and so I got on YouTube pretty early. I think 2006 when it first started to grow, and I had a couple videos on there, but it was more like friends doing stuff together. Nothing really crazy or driven whatsoever. I had jumped over to Facebook at that time, and I remember having created a couple like pages to follow, just like meme type pages back in the day. But I didn't get a whole lot of traction, and if I'm being honest with myself, like I didn't really go into those platforms with the same intention of growing. And
Right.
I don't really know why. I think just in my head, it would, this time had passed. And
Right.
now,
Yeah.
like,
As you said, it's like nobody gave you this as a career path. It was like,
yeah, I didn't have any mentor in my life at the time that was like, no, keep doing this. You're onto something. Social media is going to be huge. Just stay consistent. I came back to that. Fortunately, this was definitely my path in life. But yeah, at the time there was not a smooth transition.
Mm. Mm.
There was years of, getting back on the horse, so to speak. It wasn't an easy transition at all.
So it's interesting that, like, you mentioned that you had that little break and you actually got picked up by a video agency. So you were doing video, kind of video marketing, video SEO, video production, video as an agency for clients. And at what stage did this start to become yours? Like, at what stage did you go, well, I'm bigger than the agency. This is now Austin Armstrong, out in the space, not just the agency that I'm working for.
So not for a while. So I went from being a unpaid intern to a paid intern to a part-time employee to a full-time employee there. I had one video that did about 5 million views. That was my idea on that channel. That was the biggest one. And then we were doing video marketing in the behavioral health space. So working with drug and alcohol treatment centers and psychologists and therapists and psychologists, the whole 9 yards in that space. And I started getting really good, and I kept moving my way up, ended up working as head of digital marketing at a drug and alcohol treatment center as well. Had grown multiple YouTube channels to tens of thousands of subscribers at that point, getting millions of views. And I started to get that itch and say, like, why am I doing this for other people when I know that I can do this for myself? Meanwhile, I was starting to attend conferences. This is now like, I'd say like 9 years ago. So a couple years into that. And then that company, that agency that I worked at failed. The business model didn't quite work out. It was kind of a unique big picture strategy that didn't work out. But my boss became my business partner. We started a much more traditional marketing agency, traditional model. And that's where I started to grow my personal brand again. So this was about 6.5 years ago when I started my first company, Socialty Pro. And that was where I really had the vision of, like you were saying, like who are you going to hire? Are you going to hire the marketing agency that has no following themselves, or the marketing agency that has hundreds of thousands of followers and is the reason that we're on a call now in the first place? And so that's where I really started to build my brand again. And so if you think about it, there's a big gap in between when I was big on Myspace, and then I was behind the scenes for many, many years. And only the last 6.5 years now did I really start to focus on growing my personal brand. And it's been that 6.5 years of consistency that have really compounded. And I would say continue to compound. Like I'm getting more views right now than I've ever gotten on any platform in my entire life.
Wow.
And it continues
I,
to
I want to
compound.
dig in a bit. I want to dig in, like, there's a couple of pieces there that I really want to dig into, but just blow me away for a second. You're getting more views than ever before. What's a view count for you today? Like, as in on a daily basis, what kind of views are you getting?
On a daily basis, probably 5 to 10 million views right now across the board.
Okay, I'm just like, that's the end of our episode, ladies and gentlemen. 5 to 10 million views a day. That is absolutely phenomenal. I definitely want to dig in a bit. So I just want to come back on there. There was a couple of key points. So when you're talking about working at the agency, you said I had grown a couple of YouTube channel to tens of thousands of followers. Now, I know for our listeners, like you said that super quickly. I grew a couple of YouTube channels out to tens of thousands of followers, and then you're on to the next thing. But for a lot of our listeners, that's a dream come true, just getting one channel up to that kind of level. Do you have a formula? Like how much do you back yourself? Could you start with a fresh channel today and grow that out reasonably quickly?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've
Wow.
done it a bunch of times. Yeah, I've got, I mean, two silver play buttons behind me here. I have 630,000 subscribers. I grew another channel to, it's at about 130,000 subscribers for a client. I had another client that's about 90,000 subscribers right now, another channel that's 60,000, 50,000. I think YouTube alone, I think probably 9 or 10 channels past 10,000. Um, there's definitely repeatable formulas. Shorts just have been crushing the last several years in particular. I have really good shorts strategies that have worked for me that I can get in the weeds if you want. But even before shorts rolled out, um, SEO on YouTube is the
Yep.
game. Like it's people overthink it, but looking at long tail keywords that people are searching for online using a SEO keyword research tool like SEMrush or Ahrefs or now vidIQ or TubeBuddy, like all these tools are fantastic. And then finding those gaps of a lot of search volume, but not a lot of competition. And even if there is competition on it, maybe there hasn't been videos on that particular topic in 2+ years. So there's still a lot of searches, but there's no new fresh content on it. And then just sort of breaking it down, like, because I come from an SEO background as well. And so SEO on YouTube really worked out. So maybe here's the broad oriented topic, and then it would be interview style. And so if this is, so for instance, like in the drug and alcohol treatment space, we would do opioid addiction. Like what is opioid addiction might be a particular topic. And then you ask that question first, expert answers it for 2 minutes. And then you have a second question in there that's also an SEO keyword research that's like opioids versus benzodiazepines, which in and of itself is a keyword research term there. And then after that, you might do what are opioid withdrawal symptoms, and then opioid withdrawal symptom timeline, and then like all of these, you breaking that process down. It makes for a really good video and a logical viewer experience as well. So a lot of people don't, if you're going after search, they don't think about that. Like, what is the natural progression of information within that video to best deliver it? And so just following that strategy worked really well. Another like overarching content strategy that we really followed is when we would onboard a new client, we would go over 4 or 5 core pillars of things that you can talk about. So another example of, say, maybe a therapist, they could talk about depression topics, anxiety topics, relationship oriented topics, narcissism oriented topics. And so if those are our 4 or 5 broad categories, then you do that keyword research and topic research and competitor research on what are the top performing videos and topics in each category. And you outline like 10, 15 topics, subtopics in each of those categories. And now you have a systematic approach. So video 1 is in depression, video 2 is in anxiety, video 3 is in relationship, video 4 is in narcissism. And you do this in a systematic approach. And this works for longs or shorts. And after about a 30-day period, you're going to notice trends. And wow. So this is a real world example of a therapist, Jim Brion, that we went through this and we realized exponentially more views were coming from narcissism oriented content. And so it's all a momentum and a double down play. Content in every format feeds off of your previous content. And so if you stack the odds in your favor, so you do all of the upfront research, you make assumptions, and then you see and notice those trends of videos and content that perform best, and you double down to test that assumption, and you continue to ride that momentum until it no longer works. And then you go through that A to Z process again.
Wow, amazing. And do you still live that today with the content that you're producing in terms of, a lot of, I think I've done a whole series of interviews with some of the top YouTubers in the world. And I think one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we kept getting back after interviewing some of those legends was, oh my God, I didn't realize it was actually so much work to be an influencer. So as a content creator today, Austin, are you still researching your topic, or are you just point and shoot now? Are you at the point where momentum has taken over? Do you have a team that's outlining the pillars and doing the same thing? Or is it like, what's your strategy today? Is it still the same?
No, it's a lot different. I mean, we've entered an AI era now. I use AI to assist me in most things. Content creation is definitely my creative outlet. I sometimes use editors. I use editors for my long form content. I still edit my own short form videos. I've gone back and forth on it a little bit. I just like to do it. So there are certain things that I delegate out. ChatGPT and Claude help me do a lot of research on some of the topics. I do a lot of my own research. I'm very much on the fly with content, though. I've made thousands of videos. I know what styles of videos, the formatting. I've got it down to like if I, for instance, for me, a 49-second video that gets 37 seconds of view duration, I know that like 60% of the time is going to crush it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Really paying attention to the metrics. And so like that is always a North Star short for me, is I try and get it as close to 49 seconds. And I try and work in micro hooks and clips that are the exact same length to stack the odds in my favor. Like that's how sort of meticulous that I get with it sometimes. Not every time.
It's amazing. But like you're doing that on the fly because you've got the foundation. I mean, Michael Jordan steps up to the free throw line. He's got a set play that he knows exactly what's gonna get in the net 90% of the time. So if you were starting off, like if you were a brand new content creator today, understanding the pillars that you just went through before, now understanding the hooks and the timing and that kind of stuff, like there are some fundamentals that need to be bedded in, and it's not just point and shoot. You just need to understand some of those fundamentals. Do you have like a Is there somewhere that you would recommend content creators go to follow along? Like, obviously, guys, I'm going to drop all Austin's links here. So AustinArmstrong.ai is Austin's own thing, and I'll include all of the links to Socialty Pro and everything there. But is there somewhere that you would say to somebody, go here, this is your best starting point?
I would say right now it's my Facebook profile. Yeah. That's where I'm spending the most amount of time creating every day. I post like 5 to 6 times a day, every day. On Facebook, all different formats of content on there. Nice. It's where I'm getting the most amount of views. My attention goes to where attention is. Big Gary Vee fan. That's kind of where that comes from. But I was a TikTok guy for a long time, YouTube guy for a long time, SEO guy for a long time. Right now, Facebook is where I'm seeing the most organic reach, the most connections, the most leads, the most business, the most revenue. So that's where I'm spending most of my time right now. So
I love that. We'll make sure that you're listening. There. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get
definitely.
everybody over there. That's so I'm looking at facebook.com, of course. OWWSTIN is Austin's own page there. 1.7 million followers. So doing something right there, man, I would say. So good place to go and learn from you guys. So, Austin, the other thing that I wanted to look at there was that you mentioned a couple of times now already consistency. So now it's like years and years and years and years and years of consistency. What does what does a day in the life for Austin Armstrong look like? What let's look at a content creation schedule and how you go about feeding that engine.
Well, so I'm a little bit more unorganized and chaotic than people might think, but I'm not a morning person, so I will wake up at like 9 a.m. and then I will typically either go for a little walk with my wife and my dog or get some coffee, and then start working around 10 a.m. And lots of meetings throughout the day. I create on the fly. I don't batch. I don't like to batch. If I have a 30-minute or an hour time availability, which sometimes I just mark it off on the calendar if I need to do deep work or get some content creation in. I'll create something on the fly. I typically do try and get at least one piece of content out before my first meeting every day. Um, and sometimes I'm more creative than other days. One fantastic hack on Facebook in particular is to just go through your memories and repost something that you posted a year ago.
Yeah, right. Of
You
course.
the power of consistency is you build up a backlog of content that you can repost. Um, I'm also a huge advocate of reposting your top performing content. Remember that you are the only person that sees every single post that you put up. And so if I had a banger from last month that did 50 million views or whatever, guess what? I'm going to repost that thing.
Yeah, for sure. Would you
And it
reshoot
might
it or would you just like repost that same content?
it depends on the platform. So, to be honest, text threads are working best for me on Facebook right now. That's the best format of content across the board, which is like a clickbait headline of colored background, white text, like black background, white text, something like "Rest in peace, Photoshop. Here's 5 AI tools to generate images amazingly," right? And then down arrow, and then in the comments will be the 5 different tools and a
Yeah.
call to action or something like that. Like that format just crushes. There are some nuances of reposting videos on different platforms. Facebook doesn't like it, so I don't repost them. They're the biggest uh, platform that's dinged me for reused duplicate content. So I don't do that. Instagram, I have no problem reposting videos. In fact, I recommend posting them as trial reels. Right now, trial reels is a fantastic feature to test your top performing content against people that have never followed you and never seen your content before.
Yeah.
TikTok doesn't really care. YouTube doesn't really care for shorts. They definitely care for long. And so just some little nuances, but um, and then lots of meetings all day. And then I typically will work until 10 o'clock at night, something like that. So it ends up being like a 11, 12 hour day. Um, but a late start for sure. And
Mm.
then I'm more of an evening person. So I sort of hit a groove around 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. I have to sort of stop, like force myself to slow down.
So that's when it really kicks in for you, like the
Yeah,
just the flow, and you're like, okay, hang on a second, I could be here until 4 o'clock in the morning if I kept following this thread. Yeah, I know the feeling.
absolutely. That's kind of my flow state is in the evening. Some people are morning people. I am not. I am just slow ease in all day, and then
Power
eight
up at the
9.
end.
Yeah, yeah,
I
exactly.
love it. I love it. I love it. So as we're recording this is mid 2025. As we're recording this, you have been now at the helm of an incredible tool with Syllabi just for 2.5 years. You started up this amazing AI based video application, and of course you're one of the pioneers in the space. There's been a lot that's come after you, but how is Syllabi now reflected in your daily life as a content creator and as a CEO of a powerful AI company? Like, how do you balance those two things together?
Well, it's been an amazing journey. I mean, this is my second company, my first startup. So it's a really unique new space for me, even though it's been, 2.5 years since we launched, 3 years since I've been working on it. I love it. I mean, I took everything that I just said, basically the A to Z process of doing keyword research and creating content and staying consistent, and I turned it into Syllabi to help other people have all of the right topics and ability to create consistently across an omni-channel approach, every social media platform. I use it. I love it. I create. I manage. I manage 3 faceless YouTube channels, and our team in general across the board. We manage like 50 faceless YouTube channels, and it's honestly just inspiring to see people in our Facebook community and online every single day start to create videos, and are monetized, and they've never been able to get out of their own way to start creating content before. And so that's what really inspires me. But how I'm able to balance them is through delegation is the real answer.
Yeah.
There's a great book that came out a year or two ago now, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. One of my favorite recent books. And there's like one big concept in that book of time inventory, where you just, from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep, for like a week straight or 2 weeks straight, if you can make it that far, just put a start time and an end time, list the task out, and then rate it as well, of how much enjoyment does it bring you? How much is it worth of your time? Do you like doing it? Do you not like doing it? Grade all of this out, and then start to figure out like what can you delegate out to other people so that you can buy back more of your time to focus on what brings you the most enjoyment and what gets you the most positive ROI. And for me, what I get the most ROI on and the most enjoyment out of is content creation and doing amazing podcasts like this with you and doing public speaking engagements. I love that stuff. That is my zone of genius. That's where I come alive. And so I brought on multiple business partners to focus on things that I am not good at. We have a pretty sizable team now. We're over 20 people, so that I can hyper focus on doing what I'm good at, and it's marketing and what I love to do. So that's kind of the balance in the day to day.
I love it. So I'm a huge Dan Martell fan. I think I've got Buy Back Your Time on repeat on my Audible. So when I'm walking in the morning. So I'm thinking back, like 2.5 years ago, you started Syllabi. It would have taken you blood, sweat, and tears to get it off the ground. And now you've been able to put the team in place and refocus back on being that front face, bringing that the natural subscriber growth from your activity into Syllabi, which is an amazing thing. So for all our listeners, for the people that want to be influencers, who are influencers, and they're getting started with that kind of world, you monetize your fame. Let's put it that way. You monetize your fame in a number of different ways. And Syllabi is just one of those. You have obviously a subscriber base, content creators who want to create the YouTube, faceless YouTube channels and go. Syllabi is amazing, by the way. Logged in and just love the application. But so that's just one of the ways that you're monetizing, is you've got your own brand that you built up as a software application. What are the other ways that you're monetizing those 5 to 10 million views a day that you're bringing in?
Yeah, great question. Affiliate marketing is probably my largest income stream outside of Syllabi. Brand deals. I do a lot of brand deals. Ad revenue across all of the platforms. Beehive is a great one that I've been doing the last couple of months, maybe close to a year now. And that Beehive is a email newsletter platform, and there's some awesome functionalities in there. They have this what's called a boost program, which basically it's other newsletters that get put in front of your opt-in form. So long story short, you get paid to grow your email newsletter for free. That's been a fantastic way. Hourly consulting, paid speaking engagements, sometimes UGC. So people will have me create a video for their brand, but it's not posted on my social accounts. It's posted on their social accounts. I have a private school community. I've had a couple courses over the years. Um, right now, I'm working on a book as well. So those are kind of the more meaningful things. Sometimes I'll do lead generation or referral. So I shut my agency down. I don't want to be an agency anymore. I got burnt out on that space. I don't want to do client management. I'm tired of trading my time for dollars. I don't even really like doing consulting anymore, if I'm being completely honest, because I just like my freedom to market and just have Syllabi grow as a result. So I will refer clients to other trusted people that I trust. Um, those are the big ones.
I'd say that covers a fair few bases. What was interesting for me is that you listed ad revenue as third. So I think probably fourth if you're counting Syllabi as the number one. I think a lot of people who want to be influencers in the space
Yeah.
kind of think to themselves, if I get 500,000 subscribers, or if I get 1 million views, then I'm going to be a billionaire. I just know that from the reality of interviewing a lot of superstars and YouTube influencers, that's not the case. Like, when would you say to an influencer, this is where you're going to start to see things really shift and move for you?
I would never rely on ad revenue to be your number one source of revenue. Always let that be the icing on the cake. If you can, the best way that you're going to be able to make significant money as an influencer and as a content creator is have a business that allows you to be a creator.
Hmm.
Pause for impact. Have something that you can sell.
Yeah.
You can start with affiliate marketing, depending on your niche. Affiliate marketing can drive a lot of money. I made over six. I was just doing my taxes, and I made over six figures in affiliate marketing alone last year, promoting other people's software tools. You can make a lot of money. YouTube, for instance, I'm very transparent. I've got 600,000 subscribers. A lot of it comes from shorts. I make less than $1,000 a month from my YouTube channel right now. I'm not complaining, but it's less than most people think that you make
Yeah.
with 600,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
YouTube or Facebook pays a lot right now. Facebook's paying. Last month I made about $9,400. So Facebook's paying a significant amount of money to creators right now. So you can make a decent amount, but if you sell courses or coaching or um, your own products or services, let that be the primary revenue driver, because it can be a little bit more predictable. Ad revenue has highs and lows. Affiliate marketing is good if you're promoting SaaS tools, because it is recurring and it becomes predictable. Brand deals can have highs and lows. Sometimes you'll get, 2, 3, 4 brand deals a month, and then you'll get nothing for 2, 3 months or whatever. So if you can find something that you enjoy to create content around, and you figure out how to sell something that really genuinely provides value or helps your audience, that's where meaningful revenue can come from. Let all the other things just be icing on the cake. All of these
Yeah.
multiple streams of income build on top of each other. But if you only rely on one, and so many content creators just think that, like, as soon as I get monetized on YouTube, my life is going to
I'm
change,
done.
and they spend
Yeah.
2 years getting the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. They're finally approved, and the first paycheck comes in, and it's like 67 cents, and it's like, oh, it's
So
so
yeah, it's
rough.
like, I remember I was interviewing Eric the car guy, and I asked him the question of ad revenue, and this was the week that he got more views than Top Gear, and he was like, that particular week, my ad revenue was something like $614, and I was like, yep, there you go. And then he was like, and in that same week, I think it was Jaguar and Audi rocked up with 2 new cars and just dropped him off at his house with a bow on top and said, please review. So it's like brand deals taking the cake. So Austin, tell me, what's the deal that surprised you? At what point did your phone ring, your email went off, or Instagram, or a notification somewhere, and you answered that, and at the other end of that call was a deal or a connection that made you go, whoa, that was huge.
The one that immediately comes to mind is before I had a lot of success on social media. I was creating on YouTube, I was creating really targeted videos in the SEO space, just as I was talking about. And it was a video about drug rehab SEO to get more clients. And that video at the time had probably 300 or 400 views. But I got an email from somebody that had seen a TikTok video, gone to the YouTube channel and watched that YouTube video, sent me an email, and it turned into a $15,000 consulting contract to come in as a high level consultant for 3 months to oversee their marketing team because those videos proved my expertise in that industry. And so that's another thing that a lot of influencers don't think about is you don't have the viral numbers, the vanity metrics are cool. It's nice to have. It's nice to say I have 3.5 million followers. Great. But you don't need that to make significant revenue. A video that had 400 views led to $15,000 contract. So amazing things like that can happen if you're hyper focused.
There was a word there that I just want to focus on, which was they focused on your expertise. It wasn't the 300 or 400 views. It was the expertise that was behind the video that led to the consulting. I think there's a lot of, actually, let me rephrase this as a question. How do you feel an influencer becomes an influencer? When we're talking about expertise, there are so many niches out there. There are so many amazing, incredible content creators that have built amazing followings in everything from cooking to business to SEO to makeup. Like there's just an infinite number of different things. How does an influencer create that expertise that allows them to generate the following?
Know, like, and trust.
Absolutely.
Cliche. You have to show up consistently, so they have to know you. They have to like you based on your personality and how you deliver and consistently make an impact in their lives. And they have to trust you. Trust is the most important factor into being an influencer. If you're trying to influence somebody to make a purchasing decision, they have to trust you. It's not good enough to just put an offer out there and think that it's going to just magically turn into dollars. No. Think about it from your perspective. Have you ever just bought something from someone you've never seen this person post anything before? Are you going to buy it on the spot the first time? No, probably not. Why would I buy this thing? I don't want to waste my money, right? So it takes that consistency of showing up, providing value for free over and over again, proving your worth, staying consistent over and over and over again. Just deliver incredible free value. You can sell the implementation. But if you jab, 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 right hook, another Gary Vee reference there, just like 80-90% of the content that you create should just be free, amazing value. Truly try to make a positive impact in the lives of who your audience is. And that's how you build influence. That's how you're able to sell things.
I love it. Dude, how do you feel about being referred to as an influencer?
I think it's a little silly, to be honest. I don't call myself an influencer, really. I'm just a content creator. I think it does more harm to, or it inflates my ego more than it should. It's cool. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I feel a little, to be honest.
Does it weigh on you? Do you have a heaviness that comes with the responsibility of millions of people understand or see your post 5 to 10 million views a day? Do you feel responsibility behind that?
No, I'm authentically myself in person and online. And I've made, people have asked me that question of, should you use that reach to do something in the world? I could get into politics. I don't want to get into politics because I personally don't care about politics. Sorry, even that. I don't care. I'm just trying to grow a business. But I could put, um, rock the boat. But that's not what my content is about. You don't come to my page for that. You come for infotainment. I'm a corny guy. I do sketch videos and stuff like that, but it's all about digital marketing and AI and using these latest tools. It would isolate and completely take away from the work that I've done by talking about a topic like that. And so, no, it doesn't weigh on me. And I stay in my lane, and I like to stay in my lane because I don't even want to talk about these things in real life, to be honest.
Yeah,
So,
nice. I like it. I like it. Dude, I'm so conscious of your time, and I'm really very, very grateful for the chance to hang out with you for a little bit. So I've just got a couple other questions that I just want to dive into a little bit. So
sure.
let's talk about AI for a second. So obviously Syllabi.ai, guys, you can head over and find out about Austin's own creation platform there, which is incredible. How is AI changing, shaping you as an influencer? How is it affecting other influencers and content creators moving forward? Like it's a really big space right now.
It is the biggest shift in technology since the internet itself. And I've seen all of these platforms come and go. I've seen these trends. Um, like I'm a little bit into the crypto space just privately, but like NFTs like kind of came and went, right? Like Web3 like is still a thing, but like it's not, there's no practical immediate use cases for the everyday person, unlike AI. AI, why this boomed and why it continues to grow is there is immediate practical use cases in becoming every aspect of our life, largely online and digital. It's becoming more and more ingrained into hardware, which I think is going to be the next big evolution, next transition. um, it allows me to ideate faster. It allows me to create more, better, faster. It allows me to stay more consistent and be more productive and do deep research on things that would have taken me countless hours. Before I sign a contract, I pass it through AI to see if there's any immediate red flags as a first pass. It is integrated into my calendar. It's integrated into every aspect of my life. I talk to ChatGPT on a pretty much daily basis now. And it's only getting better and better. And like, I've been loving, just from a content topic perspective as well. Like, I started to create content years ago on useful websites for business owners and entrepreneurs. And when these AI tools started to come out, it was a very simple, natural progression to starting to create content about useful AI websites for business owners and entrepreneurs, which has allowed me to explode online from having a base and a content format that worked, and just me genuinely being interested in this space. And now I have my own AI marketing conference coming up called AI Marketing World. If anyone's interested, aimarketingworld.co. It's going to be in Dallas, Texas, October 9th through the 11th. Shameless little plug there. But
Nice.
I'm an AI startup founder now. I'm an AI content creator. I spoke at Duke University as a lecturing professor about AI and entrepreneurship. It's opened up so many opportunities for me to speak all around the world and build influence that I never really had before. AI is integrated into everything, and it's only becoming more and more integrated. And I love the space, and I'm fascinated and a little terrified at it, but it's all
Nice.
good.
What doesn't AI do that you wish it did?
Well, my wife and I were talking about this earlier today. I'm like, we're both getting to wife's a startup founder as well, and we wish, like, we're getting to a point where we need to hire a house manager and just like an executive assistant to like book our travel and just like do everything for us. And so we're very likely only a few months away from an agent being able to just book me, my flight. It knows that I like aisle row, try and get me an exit row, or upgrade me to business class, whatever. I like these airlines. I like flying in and out of this city. Book me a hotel. Here's my preference. And it just kind of doing all of those little tasks for me. So like, just everyday automation outside of the online world. I can't wait for that to come, and I think that's going to be very soon.
I think we're there already. I'm pretty sure that somebody listening to this will go, Austin, you should check this out. It's already there. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little buggy, but I mean, you can do a fair amount of this, but
Yeah,
definitely in a couple months.
can
Like,
you imagine what's going to happen? Like AI really is only such a young technology for so much impact that it's already been
so
felt.
early.
So I just want to wrap up. So again, guys, Austin Armstrong, the legend that is forging the path, man. I'm so grateful for your time, and in creating Syllabi as an app that other creators are then leveraging as well. Super super cool, dude. I want to ask you, who influences you?
Hmm. My wife comes to mind. She's an amazing startup founder as well, and we motivate each other. Uh, there are I've mentioned Gary Vee like 3 times on this chat conversation already. I'm a big Gary Vee fan. I those are 2 people that come to mind. Dan Martell is another one that I really follow. Um, those are some of the ones that immediately come to mind.
Some
I'm
good
a I'm a
reference points.
yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I guess last question: where are we seeing you on the horizon now, Austin? Like, what are you working on right now that is exciting for you? Where are you headed towards? Where will we see that star continue to rise going forward?
Yeah, I want Syllabi to be the best video marketing platform on the internet. And so that's my hyper focus right now, is making it better and better every day, listening to our users' feedback and suggestions. We've built an incredible community and movement online of new content creators that are monetizing and growing on social every day. And that deeply inspires me. So just constantly making that better, and AI marketing world as well. I've been a student of conferences all around the world for 10 plus years now. And so this is the first time that I am throwing my own conference, and I'm putting my heart and soul into that. So that's really going to be fun. And I'm working on a book as well. So best selling author on the horizon as well. And just continue to grow and see how close I can get to the sun without burning.
I love it, dude. I love it. Let's get you those wings made out of anything but wax. Come back and tell us about AI marketing world. Like, let us know what's going on with that and how that's going for you. And I'm sure this will be the first one of a series that's coming through. Keep us in touch, of course, guys, with Syllabi. And I love that you've got a thing there where you're looking to help 1 million people make money with AI and video, building that Syllabi community and the teamwork framework behind it. So, guys, give it up for Austin Armstrong. Austin, thank you for continuing to lead the way. Do you know what? Thank you for being you. Thank you for turning up genuinely, enthusiastically and empathetically on your Facebook feed and on all of the platforms that you're at, and letting other content creators experience that genuine resonance that is you. So really appreciate you, man. And again, guys, we'll make sure that all the links are there. Give it up for Austin. And Austin, thank you again, man. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here.
Cheers, pal. Speak soon.